This is a tutorial for the sprinkler line custom member. This custom member facilitates the addition of sprinkler holes on the webs of beams and can be used across multiple members simultaneously, but it is specifically adding a member, right? And the idea is that the member will intersect with the beams and add holes to all the beams it intersects with. To use this custom member, we go to the Add Members window and search for the sprinkler, JITECH sprinkler, right? So to add this member, it's recommended that you do so from top view, where you can see all the beams you wish the sprinkler to traverse. This will add a red bar from the 2 points you select and place the hole wherever the members intersect with the web, right? So we're going to place one. Important distinction, you want the elevation to be at the top of steel, correct? So select 1 point, and we want it to traverse all the way to the end, right? When selecting the points, it's recommended that you select points at the top of steel intersecting with the beam center line, because in the UI you'll be able to use the extend work point line, which is available right here. Using this field, the stick extension on the left and right, you can extend it beyond the 2 points you picked by 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 feet. All right, so we're going to leave it at 1 foot. And then the other reason it's recommended that you select it at the top of steel is because you can give it an elevation offset. So if the elevation right now is 169-7, the very first time you apply it, you're going to have this field called elevation offset, which allows you to tell the UI, I want it to go down from my chosen elevation from my top of steel 5 inches, right? By default, the stick extension fields are 0, and the default of the elevation offset is 3. But obviously, in this case, it's already been preset just for the sake of this tutorial. So from the UI, you can also change some of the more typical settings, such as the section size of the pipe, the sequence, and the hole diameter, right? An important distinction of the hole diameter on this UI is that you have the option to determine the hole either by giving it a clearance around the pipe diameter or by just declaring the hole diameter as is. So if we click here, right, it'll toggle back and forth between it, and by default this is set to false and this is set to 1 inch, right? So if we do change it, right, it'll automatically update the hole. And if you change the section size on the pipe, so let's say we change it to 1/2, it will also automatically update the hole diameter, right? There is a limit though. It will not accept like less than a certain size. So let's say we make it 1/2, 2 1/2, right? It's not going to accept it, right? It's going to tell you have a negative diameter clearance, even though it would be just a very tight fit. The idea is that the validation that's being passed into this is this pipe diameter plus like a 1/16 or 2/16 clearance around the pipe, right? So if you want to be able to do that, you're going to have to add the 3/16 to this whole diameter, but I'm not going to calculate that, so I'm just going to make it 3. Right, and there we have our pipe, right? So as you can see, it's added a very, very small hole, but it has in fact added the hole across all of the webs, right? It will give you an error if you get too close to the K, right? If the hole falls on the K or it traverses the K, it will not put the hole in, and it will let you know if that's failed. The other interesting thing, right, is that you can slant this. So let's say we make the right end lower than the left end. Let's make it 1 hole, like 1 foot and 2 inches lower, okay? Right, it will still traverse the beams and it'll still add the beams wherever it traverses. So this works on sloped, on curved, on whatever you can think of, as long as it can place a hole on the web, right? And when you move the pipe, the holes move with it as well, right? So if we look at it from this side, select the member, move stretch members, select here, right? The line, let's move it over by this much, confirm the move. The holes will move with it, as you can see, right? And ultimately, that also means that when you delete it, the holes will also go with it. Okay? So this is a custom member, meaning it is an independent object and can be edited as many times as you see fit, right? You can copy, paste it, duplicate it, stretch it, and delete it, and it will act accordingly. Regardless, right? Please remember that plugins are there to make the user's life easier, but it is still the user's responsibility to review the results for accuracy. Hope this helps your day go smoother, and good luck.